Uh, Sexual energy. Uh, let's get it on. TC carrier, black male and female sex. What's up, Patreon family? What's up? What's up, Patreon family? We here now. I know we was doing some of this book live, pop-up book clubs, but now I'm gonna try to get it in because this book is long and we're reading a plethora of different books. So I don't want to keep us going here and there and here. I'm gonna just try to get through it. We're gonna get through it player style. Chapter 7: Seen and Unseen Sexual Energy. I say. The faster the energy vibrates, the more information it contains. Raise your vibration and you expand your capacity to decipher unlimited access to knowledge. Raise your vibration, raise your energy up, and you'll have access to know lids. The knowledge that you know is just the knowing. King and Queen, let's get it on. By now, you are probably wondering why I spell the concept of energy as energy. Why he spells the concept of energy as inner, INNERG. I borrowed the term from my good friend of mine, Kelly DeLeon. She has a way of combining sounds, symbols, and meanings of words to enhance their meaning from a more profound yet simple definition. She is a wordsmith. Energy was one of those words that resonated in me when she introduced it to me. Let us break it down. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. This sounds to me like the definition of the concept of the one God or creator. God is described in the terms of being the Alpha and the Omega. So that must mean that God and the concept of energy are one and the same. With this foundation, I turn to the letter G in the symbol of Freemasonry. Freemasons state that the letter G in their symbol possesses many definitions according to the degree the initiation has obtained. It's like the concept of God has many names and different connotations depending on the knowledge and faith of the believer. Okay, one point I do want to make sure that we understand is that you are a ball of energy. If you're still thinking yourself as a physical being, then you fucking up. When I first learned and understood that I'm energy first, that changed my whole perspective in the spiritual thing. While I was on my drug run when I was 18, 19, and all of that stuff, right? I really didn't understand myself from an energetic standpoint. So my emotions, energy, emotions would get in the way, and that would take me to take substances to get high or to numb myself into oblivion to not feel these emotions, these energy emotions. Once I got into my work, my spiritual work, 10 years later from that, finally got into it. I started to realize that, oh, okay, that you have to be able to hone in to what you're feeling. See, a lot of times people are just letting the feelings dictate how they move. In you making your feelings dictate how you move, essentially you are controlled by that energy. And we want to tap into the energy, the inner God in us to that we're in control. It's just about slowing down these vibrations and challenging the uncomfortable feelings. Because again, you might have to go through a process of that uncomfortable energy, right? But that's okay because it's just your selves changing into the new higher vibration that you're claiming to be. A lot of times we want to get the reward, we want to change our outcome, but we don't want to change the surrounding environment and the person that we have to become. That's part of the deal, baby. You're going to have to become something different. You're going to have to go and move into a different lexicon of thought. You're going to have to be in a whole new environment. You can't hang out with your hood partners no more. You can't do the same old stuff that you was used to. Getting up, jacking off, playing video games, having sex with random chicks, not even really understanding that you're putting yourself in more and more low vibrational energy, which is snapping and taking away your God. So I want the family to be understanding at that point, you're a ball of energy first. And the more you understand your energy, the more you understand your inner G. Okay, it says they say the G stands for God. Of course, this definition is self-explanatory. It is the simplest meaning on the most mundane level. They also say the G stands for the sacred geometry that the great architect of the universe used to create the physical dimension. This is a higher degree of knowledge as the initiate is exposed to higher knowledge. He is exposed to universal laws that expose reality on the level of geometrical equations or theorems. Okay, there go the Freemasonry side with the G. You don't know what it looks like. And that's you being God. Remember, Mason is you and your intuition. So when they say Mason or Ma and son, Ma is your intuition or your mother, right? She's intuitively in line with the divine feminine. And then son is you on your Heru's journey. So think about the Lion King, right? With Nyla and Simba. Think about Raising Dion, that show. Think about all these shows. It's always the mother and son. Jesus and Mary, Aset, Heru, right? But remember, this is not a real thing. These are understandings of energy. So you got to take away the physical aspect and look at it from the metaphysical standpoint. You're talking about mother, Ma, as intuition, as knowing, as your higher knowing, right? Your spiritual knowing, your right brain essentially, and son as your heroic, courageous, emotional heart chakra movement through this world to your goals and feet. So that's what we want to understand to the core. Let's keep it going. It says symbol of Freemasonry with the letter according to the degree of the initiate. The universe cannot be read until we have learned that the language and become with the characters in which it is written. It is written in mathematical language, and the letters are triangles, circles, and other geometrical figures, without which means it is humanly impossible to comprehend a single word. Galileo. The mathematics of the properties, measurements, and relationships of points, lines, angles, and surfaces and solids. This definition can also be applied to energy. The characteristics of energy changed, manipulated, and controlled by the same properties that describe the mathematics of geometry. Energy can be expressed with unique characteristics by exposing it or manipulating it by using different measurements, points, waves, angles, surfaces, and matter. Freemasons also say the G stands for Gnostic. So that's what I was just saying. Everything is energy first. Don't worry about, I get it. Our minds are logical, literal, and rational. So we think these symbols are the form of a physical person or whatever, right? But these are angels of light or the information, right? Remember, light is information. And this is all just angles, these pictures and stuff that you're seeing. No matter how much you want to believe in the Anunnaki, nigga. Or you feel me? No matter how much you want to believe in Aset coming through or Oshun, this is all information inside of you. So even when you go down to the quantum realm, you understand that these gods live in that fourth dimensional aspect because again, they were created somewhere and they were created in the fourth dimension, right? Now, the gods can come down as we're seeing in this new, they can come down in the third dimension as a physical being, but then that's when you have, okay, Michael Jackson as the Archangel Michael, and so on and so forth. These people that resonate in a particular sphere of consciousness. You feel me? Who was Prince? Prince would have been like, he would have been an androgynous being. So that nigga would have been, I'm gonna have to look into it again. Well, Prince would have been somebody for a fact. He straight up and down. And then, so you see this stuff happening, right? And also just remember, just because they're living in that particular God type energy doesn't mean you don't have it inside of you. So you have all these gods inside of you. It's just about turning on the inner G inside of you. Okay, it says the definition of Gnostic, relating to knowledge, from the Greek gnosis, knowledge or investigation, which is also the root for cognitive and cognition. Gnosticism in general is a form of religious belief assuming privileged knowledge of the spiritual world, knowledge considered superior to the science of the day. Okay, so Gnostic or Gnosis is the study of self, the love for self, your knowing, your self-knowing, right? So when we're talking about Gnostic thought, we're talking about following into an idea of yourself, Islam, I self, Lord and Master, right? You're self-governed, understanding why you came down here. So, in the Gnostic mythologies and stuff, they did have a name that was Jesus Christ, but they was just using it as a reference for the Christ consciousness inside of you. So now you got to understand that Sophia is not a real person. Sophia is just divine wisdom, which is you also, that came down here to experience this earth realm. But that's just you knowing the concept of these symbols. Essentially, that's what it is. It says, based on these definitions, one can conclude that to know God or energy, one has to obtain privileged knowledge of the spiritual unseen world. This is the world in which energy is most abundant. A human can only decipher less than 10% of the energy through our five senses. There exists in our reality over 90% energy that we cannot see, touch, hear, taste, or smell. Possessors of knowledge of unseen energy will be considered superior to science that we are allowed to pursue today. Okay, so remember that 10% is also the 10% tithes that you're giving to the church. It's your 10% humanity, you doing the things in this world to stay afloat. You feel me? You paying your bills, you taking your kids to school, you eating food for yourself, right? And so on and so forth. Now, so you 10% of that, right, which we can base into the conscious mind, is the seen world. The other 90% of your movement is the unseen world, or you can say the subconscious mind. So now the 90% has to be more important than the 10% because that's how you change your reality. You got to put more focus, more into the 90%. So for instance, right, in your brain, you're thinking, okay, let me take on another job so I can make more money, energy, more money, right? Cool. That sounds like a logical thing to do. You feel? But what if instead of you taking that overtime or taking on another job for 4 hours a day, you took an hour of that day, right, to tap into the self-love of you. And now all of a sudden you tapping into the God of you every day for an hour. Yeah, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Yeah, you're going to have to challenge yourself. Yeah, it's going to be kind of strange, right? Yes, you can see some fearful things in meditation. Cool, all of that stuff. But what happens is it changes your inner G. So now all of a sudden, when you change your energy just based off of you saying, you know what, instead of me taking in these extra hours, I'm going to do an hour when I get off of work to my spiritual work. Whether that be meditation, chakra work, ritual work, shadow work, your altar work, right? Whatever it might be, Because again, that's you dealing with what? The subconscious mind or spirit and directly affecting your energy. So now, boom, you do that. And guess what? You change who you become. And in you changing who you become, wow, money comes to you because you start being more assertive, more aggressive, more confident, more brash, and more, of the God you that you were supposed to be instead of a shell of yourself. So don't think that extra hour of you doing that work is gonna get you ahead. Nigga, put that extra hour into yourself and see how God works. Okay, it says the Gnostic or mystic understanding that each individual has the capacity to tap into this hidden energy from within in order to transcend into higher spiritual knowledge. If this is true, then one simply has to understand and master their energy in order to free themselves from their hidden slave masters. That's exactly what I just said. Gnosticism, therefore, is the secret knowledge of energy, which we all call God. Okay. So I done it because I made that mistake. I was a PE teacher. Boom. I said, you know what? Let me see if I can get hours. And sure enough, that shit was wearing me down. My whole body and system was getting shot. I'm talking about I was stuck just working an extra 2 hours a day, right? So much so that I started eating bad, started feeding myself low vibrational stuff just based off of me being so depressed and tired, right? So that extra money was going to me trying to fulfill a need inside of me or fuel some kind of need inside of me. But what? So I did that for a month and I said, nah, this ain't working. So instead of me doing that, guess what I did? I came, boom, I was already meditating early in the rising, right? Before I went to work. Boom. Now I would come home and get my spiritual work in after work. You feel me? This was before I was on YouTube and all that shit. Boom. Now I'm doing 2 a day on self-love, right? 40 minutes a day. You feel me? Boom. Slowly and surely it turned into what? Me falling into YouTube and me being a whole different person because at first I wasn't, I didn't really understand the whole speaking thing of YouTube and all of that. And I didn't know how it was going to be and all this other stuff, right? So, you had to crawl before you walk, walk before you run before you fly. And essentially, I started off a little like, oh shit, okay, let me not show my face. Let me just be on here and just talk. You feel me? No, first I started just putting old Bobby Hemming clips up and videos, right? Then, no, not even showing my face, just talking. Then slowly and surely I got more comfortable because my energy started changing. Freedom reigns supreme. Chaos in the blood, baby. Okay, so again, you want to change your energy. He's telling you straight up in here, your energy, your inner God. So if energy is God and God is energy, then we all have the potential to access this universal power that permeates through us and all things. And to know God is to know the different personalities of energy. Plain and simple, one cannot know God if one does not understand how the elements, the molecules and the atoms, your bodies, the plant life, the planets, the solar system, the sun, and the universe works. It is all impossible to understand the one creative life force that can be found in the microcosmic and macrocosm of the universe. Universe. This word can be broken down to uni, which means one, and verse, which can be defined as one line of poetry. Poetry can be defined as using sound, rhythm, cadence, and vibration through words to project the ideas and emotions of the writer. When we add these three definitions together, universe can be defined as the one version of sound, cadence, rhythm, and vibration used to create and project the ideas and emotions of the one creator. Okay, so that's good. Remember, universe is just one song. You being Neo, the one, and you having a song, right? A rhythm, a pitch, a vibration. So you got to be in harmony with your rhythm, right? Your pitch, your vibration. And being in harmony is just tapping into your energy, doing your emotional work, and tapping into your universal principles. So now, when he's talking about understanding and all these other stuff from a cosmic level or from a spiritual lens, right? Telling you everything is secreted from the pineal gland. So the images that you're thinking hormone that affects your glands, your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar, all the way up, right? Heart, throat, all the way up, right? Boom. So now, whenever you're visualizing particular images, you're secreting the hormone that actually makes you move in a particular way. And this is all from the quantum world, from the smallest atom spiraling through them, from the smallest electron that's not even there, spiraling through this atom you call atoms in your body, right? When they talk about Adam and Eve, they talk about you, these atoms in your body, right? So now, if you understand just the simple science of that electron, right, being light and spiraling into the nucleus and coming back out to another atom, right, then you understand that you're creating a rippling effect to move you in a particular matter. And remember, light is information. So the light that's moving at the speed of light, information is giving you the non-movement or the movement. So now, cool, bet. If you just understand that simple thing, right? Now you understand, okay, well, let me just change the picture so these atoms or this electron can spiral in some good information, right? So it's so when you're seeing negative images unconsciously, you got to force and challenge yourself, right, to see positive images in your mind. See yourself as a winner. So using the female's example, right? If you don't see yourself getting her number, essentially, you will get shot down. You got to see it in your mind's eye first, baby. Now, it doesn't mean the outcome is going to happen that way because she could be married, she could be in a relationship, right? Cool. But you got to be able to see, but you can feel the energy, as in, nigga, if she was available, shit, your knowing is like, get over here. You feel me? But she holds. So now all of a sudden you got to understand to the core that what you're seeing in your mind's eye is giving you the best energy possible to move in a particular. And we unconsciously see bad stuff, so we unconsciously keep on getting the low vibrational stuff, and we got to change that. Okay, it says they say our bodies in God's temple. This implies that God lives in, through, and all around us. If God lives in all of us, then we should be able to access the God of energy that resides in ourselves. This is the concept of energy. We all have the power to utilize and manifest the God of energy in ourselves. To know and comprehend all the mysteries of the universe, all one has to do is know and comprehend the energy in oneself. The great architect of the universe used simple building blocks from which to create this vast universe. From the smallest subatomic particle, which I was just talking about, that electron, right, to the largest sun. All objects must adhere to one universal law. The universe is made up of material as you are. Learn the basic laws and principles of energy, and one has the ability to know God from within. Know God from within, and one discovers their destiny and purpose in life. Okay. So again, I just tried to break it down, the quantum world, super quick, right? Obviously, Patreon family, just keep on asking me, and we're going to keep on diving deeper into the fold of what's actually happening with that subatomic particle, them electrons, and the smallest particle in our body, right? And understanding it, because it is an invisible energy that they know is there, but they just can't understand it. So if you got trillions of these invisible energies that they know is there, but they just don't have no physical mass, right? Then there's something to that we got to understand to the core, which is when you transition, you go back to the quantum realm, which is that invisible. So think about these trillions of cells as little minions of you, little yous, the minions. Uh, and they're actually controlling how you move and how you know, react in this world. Okay, it says the concept of planting the seed, CSEE apostrophe D. That's fly. I had the pleasure of meeting a beautiful sister named Karen Johnson. She is the owner of Marcus Books in San Francisco, California. I would always wind up having profound conversations with her when I visited her store to get my knowledge. The thing I liked about the energy we shared was that it was spontaneous and chaotic at the same time. Subjects, ideas, and concepts were always sparked by the time and the moment, and without contemplation. One day in our conversation, she broke down to me a concept she had about the word seed. I was paraphrase because this conversation took place several years ago, but it always stayed with me for some reason. She said the word seed is really spelled CSEE, as in the past tense to see, but not the word saw. The word saw is used to describe a tool used to cut or separate things from themselves. It represents a separation from the seed. Her word seed is the same seed that one plants in a garden, or the seed a man impregnates a woman with to create life. Within this small seed content contains all the DNA and genetic information of over 100,000 years that needed in order to fulfill manifest its full potential once it grows. She spelled it seed because the information that is contained in it has already saw the full potential this object can ever be once it is fully mature. Chaos in the blood, baby. I told you. So that seed is seeing yourself as a winner, nigga, because you already saw it. I just said this whole thing just now. That's crazy. So now that's fly too. Seed. You planted the seed in from your pineal gland from the projection picture that you're seeing, right? Bet. So now you see the outcome that you want to have based off of your unconscious mind giving you that play unconsciously, like, oh, I ain't gonna get this girl. Fuck it. You feel me? But you gotta see it in your mind first that you are gonna win. So if you're conscious enough, boom, you see the bad chick, you already putting your emotions into play, right? If you like, oh, I ain't gonna get her or whatever, right? Boom. You gotta wake up, break that shit out, hit your head a little bit. Wait. I can see my boom, see yourself getting there. Boom. Now, make the play. But if your emotions is in the way, because you say your root chakra is shot and you like, damn, I don't have enough money. You know, niggas say that. Oh, when I get on, I'll be ready. Oh, damn, she look like she wants some money. Nigga, that's their emotions, right? So you got to balance out that root chakra. Because again, the emotion is stronger than what you're seeing. So you're going to see what you're emotionally tied to. So if your money is kind of funny or whatever, or you don't have no grounded walk in this world with your root chakra, then you're going to see yourself making excuses in the form of, I don't have enough money. Shit, I don't my enough. Nigga, for all you know, she probably catch the bus. You feel me? And you sit and look. And shit, she probably don't need no money. She probably trying to help you out, nigga. So how you know you eat? So now your emotions is fucking you up from an adventure based off of your root chakra not being balanced and whole. Hey, let me keep reading this, dog. Hey, I'm gonna stop in a minute. I'm just telling y'all what it is. Niggas gonna have to seed themselves into winning position, or you can see yourself through that door. Cause God damn, we working, family. Don't worry, we working, Patreon family. All right. So I related this concept to support my inner G theory. Oh wait, let me read this first. Remember that a seed contained information from every experience and thought that said object has ever experienced throughout its entire physical existence. So I related this concept to support my inner G theory. One does not have to look outside of oneself for answers to the mysteries of the universe. All one has to do is access the information that is already embedded in their DNA. We all started out as a seed. All we have to do is reconnect with the information and unlock the answers to the mysteries it contains. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh, this thing goes, baby. Oh yeah, he's going into molecules and everything and the energy. Okay, Patreon family, we're gonna stop right there because I don't want to put too much because he's going into the waves, like I told y'all. We're gonna get into it. Don't worry. Damn, this damn light. Don't worry, he's going into the waves. The part I told you, all of this shit. You feel me? He's going into basically the quantum realm right here, which is good. Look, love, forgiveness, all of that stuff. So next time, Patreon family, we're gonna go in. Damn, why the fuck this light? Next time we're gonna go in. I'm gonna try to figure out how to put this on the screen better. Y'all can see some of the examples. But yeah, next time we're gonna go in and we're gonna go for ours. I know what it is, Patreon family. Peace to the gods.